We chose the cabin because it looked forgotten. That was what we wanted. 6 college friends desperate for one last escape before adulthood swallowed us whole. Finals were over. Christmas break had begun. Life hadn't started demanding answers yet. The listing showed an old wooden cabin buried deep in the mountains, miles from the nearest town. Quiet, it promised. Private. Perfect for winter retreats. Remote felt romantic. We didn't think about why it was available so close to Christmas. There were 6 of us. Evan, Sam, Alex, Mia, Jordan, and me. The drive up the mountain took longer than expected. Snow fell heavier the higher we climbed, swallowing the road until it felt like we were driving through clouds. By the time the cabin came into view, dusk had already crept in, turning the forest into a jagged black silhouette against the white. The cabin stood alone in a clearing, half buried in snow. Smoke curled from the chimney even though we hadn't lit a fire yet. None of us mentioned it. Inside it was warm. Too warm. The air smelled of pine, old wood, and something damp underneath. Christmas lights were strung along the rafters, glowing faintly. A wreath hung crookedly on the door. The fireplace was clean, recently used. Someone had been there. Probably the owner, Sam said. We accepted that explanation because it was easier. We unpacked, laughed, drank, and tried to pretend the wind screaming outside wasn't getting louder. Snow piled up against the windows, muting the world. It felt like we were sealed inside a snow globe. The power flickered around 10 p.m. Once, twice. Then darkness swallowed the cabin whole. Phones had no signal. The landline crackled uselessly. We lit candles and joked about horror movies, promising not to split up. Outside, the storm howled. Around midnight, we heard footsteps. Not fast, not frantic, slow, heavy, purposeful. Crunch, crunch, crunch. They circled the cabin once, then stopped directly outside the front door. Something scraped along the wall. Long, deliberate, as if whatever it was wanted us to know it was there. No one slept much that night. Morning brought no relief. The storm hadn't ended. If anything, it had grown worse. Snow pressed against the windows like frozen waves. The front door wouldn't open more than a few inches before hitting packed snow. Evan volunteered to clear a path. He pulled on his boots and jacket, grabbed a shovel from the porch, and stepped outside. We watched him disappear into the white. 10 minutes passed, then 20. We called his phone, no answer. Jordan cracked the door open wider and shouted his name. Only wind replied. That's when we noticed the boots. Evan's boots sat neatly by the door, unused. The shovel lay snapped in half in the snow. No footprints led away. Only a wide drag mark stretched from the porch into the trees, deep, uneven, and already filling with fresh snow. We didn't follow it. Fear settled in quietly, like frost creeping into bones. Around noon, Sam found something strange, carved into the snow near the porch, a symbol etched deep enough to resist the storm. A jagged circle slashed through with intersecting lines. Mia said it looked old, older than the cabin. That afternoon, the scratching started. From underneath the floor. Slow, rhythmic scraping, like claws testing the wood. We banged on the floorboards, shouted, tried to convince ourselves it was an animal trapped beneath the cabin. Then the laughter came. Soft, warped, almost curious. It echoed through the vents, through the walls, crawling directly into our ears. It sounded like it was learning how to laugh. That night, the power returned. Every light blazed on at once, and the boards we'd nailed over the windows were gone, stacked neatly by the wall, undamaged. 3 slow knocks echoed from the door, then 3 more. A voice followed, Evan's voice. "Guys, it's freezing. Please let me in." We didn't open the door. The knocking moved to the windows. A face pressed against the glass. White, not pale. White, like compressed snow molded into something human. Hollow pits where eyes should be. A mouth stretched too wide, teeth jagged and uneven like broken ice. Its body shifted constantly, snow sliding and reshaping as it breathed. It smiled. Alex ran. The floor beneath him collapsed inward, snow and darkness swallowing him whole. The snapping sound echoed through the cabin. Then silence. We didn't scream. We couldn't. By morning, the storm had completely cut us off. The creature circled constantly now. Sometimes it stood still, blending perfectly with the snowbanks, waiting. We learned its rules too late. It hunted when you were alone. It mimicked voices perfectly, and it was drawn to warmth. Jordan tried to start the car. The engine screamed, then died. Something slammed into the side of the cabin hard enough to shake the walls. That night, it came inside. Not through the door, through the walls. Snow poured in through cracks that shouldn't exist, forming limbs, faces, hands clawing toward us. Sam grabbed a fireplace poker and charged. The thing wrapped around him like an avalanche. When it pulled away, he was gone. Only red-stained snow remained. Mia broke. She ran upstairs screaming Evan's name. We heard her bedroom door slam. Then silence. Then her voice drifting down the stairs. "It's okay. I'm warm now." We didn't go after her. Jordan and I barricaded ourselves in the living room, feeding the fire until our hands burned. The creature stood just beyond the flames, reshaping itself endlessly, watching. Waiting. It spoke in every voice we loved. Parents, friends, people we missed, people we trusted. When the fire finally died, Jordan made a run for it. The thing let him get 10 steps into the snow. Then the ground rose up around him. He vanished without a sound. I ran. I don't remember deciding to. I kicked open the attic window and fell into the snow below. The cold stole my breath instantly. My body screamed as I crawled blindly away, lungs burning, fingers numb. Behind me, the cabin groaned, collapsed. The storm stopped instantly. The silence was deafening. I woke hours later to daylight and sirens. Search and rescue found me half buried in snow, delirious and frostbitten. They said the storm appeared suddenly and vanished just as fast. They found no cabin, no bodies, no tracks, just an empty clearing. They called it exposure, hallucination, group hysteria. They don't believe me. But every Christmas, when snow falls heavy and quiet, I hear it again. That laughter, soft, patient, calling my name, waiting for me to come back into the cold.